Thank you everyone for coming. We have two people here today, our Captain Tanvir Afzal and Coach Simon Cook. Usual process, please put your phones on silent. Raise your hands if you have a question, and if I point to you, someone will pass you the microphone.
Good short press conference.
Yeah, to the both of you, how would you assess your performance through the 3 matches? And do you think you could have probably competed on a more even keel in a couple of them?
I think I'm quite happy. First 2 games we fight really hard, and lack of experience and immaturity. So I think we can play better than this what we showed, but got ability, but what facilities we have, we trained really hard last few months, but I think experience is really matter, and if experience and maturity we can perform more better than this.
Do you think those are the factors that came into play in this game as well?
Yeah, to a certain extent. Yes, we're a very inexperienced side. You take Ryan Campbell out of the side, we've got an average age of 20, which, our guys don't play that much cricket together as a group in tournaments like this. We don't have a lot of grounds in Hong Kong, so our domestic structure also lends itself to infrequent cricket, so it becomes tough to get the group together. I'm a little bit disappointed as how we've played, because I think we're a better side than what we've showed in these 3 games. We've certainly proved that in the past in the recent World Cricket League and I Cup, that we are a competitive side. I would like to see going forward that we keep making progress. We like to blood youth, we like to have a young side, and we'll continue with that policy. But it's, I'm just a little bit disappointed with how we have played. We have been a bit hamstrung. We've gone through this tournament and also the Asia Cup with probably 4.5 bowlers rather than having the 5 that we've needed. The pitches here have been a bit slower than we've been used to. So again, that inexperience comes in as to how to play on those slower pitches, understanding that 140, 145 is actually a really competitive total, and not maybe trying to go for the 160s, 170s. So it's a combination of things, but I would certainly have liked us to win at least 1 game in this tournament.
When you say you were disappointed, what are the specific things that have disappointed you in some of the games?
Just a few things that we've been working on that haven't quite clicked. One of our strengths in the past World Cricket League games has been our partnerships, having batters batting through the majority of the innings and our finishing towards the end of the innings explosively, and that just hasn't really clicked through the 6 games that we've played, 3 here and 3 in the Asia Cup. So there's a few little things like that. The fielding, we worked really hard with Trevor Penny, who came over and did some work with us prior to coming away. So yeah, just a few little things that, they're controllable things for us, and when we play against better teams, you want to try and do your controllables really well, and then everything else kind of hopefully fits in.
You guys must have seen how Afghanistan have gone and approached their cricket over the last 1 week. Is that something that you would say aspire to do going forward? I mean, is it even possible for Hong Kong to aspire to be like in Afghanistan going forward? If yes, what would the ways that you would implement to do it?
So you have to, when I got involved with Hong Kong, you have to look at the personnel you've got. Everyone, we would like to play the brand of cricket that Afghanistan play. Unfortunately, we don't have the personnel that's actually going to be able to enable us to do that. So we have to try and win games in other ways. We've got some explosive hitters. We've got some guys that can work it around. What we lack is one of those 145, 150 kph bowlers. So we've got to try and unearth one of those from somewhere in China or Hong Kong. So you have to play within your limitations and try and be the best side that you can be. And we work really hard on doing that. And by and large, we get the most out of the talented players that we have. We've got some other talented players coming on in the under-19s and in the Hong Kong A team. And we hope to bring those online pretty soon.
Simon, I'm sure you've seen the comments from people like Preston Momsen and Peter Burren about the sort of state of play for the associates and the opportunities. In your opinion, are the opportunities that Hong Kong get, are they sufficient for you to develop the talent that you've got and really progress as a team?
It's an interesting question for us because we're so new to this level of cricket. So actually, you're asking me that. And from my point of view, this is the most cricket we've ever played, so we're kind of quite happy. But having said that, the more cricket, the better for us. And I definitely, empathise with the other associates, with the frustration of maybe how the calendar is scheduled. And I think once we kind of find our footing a little bit more within the associate kind of calendar, then we would probably want more cricket.
And I mean, for you, obviously this competition is massive to you. So how frustrating is it that the next one will be in 4 years as opposed to 2?
Yeah, obviously 2 years ago we played in Bangladesh, and then this one comes along 2 years later. Big gap now for 4 years. What it does do for us, as I said, we have an average age of 20, so it gives us 4 years of really good preparation time to hit the next World T20 really hard, with a squad that is 4 years more mature, 4 years wiser, and so we should be able to really make a challenge in that next World T20.
And just finally, I think that.
One more question.
Just finally, I think the Hong Kong Six is coming back this year. Is that right? That sort of tournament and that event, I mean, do you see that as an important part of your development going forward and sort of giving an identity to Hong Kong cricket as well, if you like? Yeah,
I think in terms of developing our cricketers for tournaments such as this and 50-over cricket and 4-day cricket, it's not that important. However, it is really important for the brand of cricket within Hong Kong and China, and also the rest of the world. So yes, it is a really important event. But in terms of technically in producing cricketers, we won't get that much out of it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
How does it feel to be the captain of the Scotland team when they win their first game at a major tournament?
Yeah, it's a very good feeling. Bittersweet in many ways with the way this campaign has gone, but at the end of the day, we've crossed the line for the first time, and that's think it's a very important moment for Scottish cricket, and we'll take a huge amount from today. Monkey off the back, and yeah, time to look forward.
Do you think that was possibly your best bowling and fielding performance so far?
It probably was. There were still a few mistakes within those 20 overs. We're looking to try and finish level par in terms of fielding, with 0 mistakes. I think that's been a tale of our campaign. Our fielding has probably cost us 10, 15 runs in each innings that we've bowled in, which, in 20 overs is actually quite a lot, and can make the difference between winning and losing, and, I think that's hurt us.
Hey, Preston, congrats on the win. I saw you had a bit of fun on Twitter earlier with is it Harsha Bogle?
Yes.
Who sort of suggested that some city cricketers weren't as hungry as they should be.
Yes.
Are you hungry?
I was incredibly surprised when I saw that tweet by Harsha. I admire Harsha as one of the great commentators of the game. I think he has a responsibility as an ambassador for the game to ensure that he is, promoting the right things within the game. And, I was deeply offended by what he had to say. I think he was trying to be over-philosophical about things. And I think, other cricketers around the world have been offended by that. So, I don't want to make this about that. We have exchanged messages, and I think he's trying to say that he was implying something else. I'm not sure how much I buy that though, and how much this has damaged limitation in terms of his brand, because he is quite a big figure in Indian cricket, and what he's come out and said is pretty poor from my side. So it's disappointing. At the end of the day, look at who pays his salary, where that money comes from. So he obviously has an obligation to protect them as well.
And I think after today, it's possibly July, August that your next fixture for Scotland is going to be, next international game. I mean, after this high, that must be really frustrating for you.
Yeah, it's tough to even contemplate, that we go a whole summer without playing any international fixtures. Let alone fixtures against full members, just fixtures against other associates that are an hour's flight away. It seems crazy.
What does Scottish cricket now need to build on this and to use this opportunity, if you like, to take the next step forward?
Yeah, as I said, it's a momentous occasion. This is a huge step forward for us. Hopefully, we've gained some more followers back home in Scotland through this campaign. Hopefully, the exposure has been there. Regrettably, we're not going further, and that having another month on TV is huge. That's invaluable, and we will lose out there. However, hopefully, we've done enough to gain some more support back home, to encourage a few more kids, the next generation. Hopefully people have bought into us. But as I've said previously, I think Scottish cricket is in a very strong position. We've got a very good squad. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite deliver on the park through this campaign, but we have shown glimpses of what we're capable of. And we'll keep fighting over the next 12 months, the next 24 months. We'll keep fighting. I'll tell you what, we are hungry. That's one thing we are. And, we'll keep being hungry whenever we get on that path.
If the ICC were to get in touch with you and ask you, okay, you don't like the format we've given you with this first round and then you go through. So ideally, what kind of format would you like to see, like the next World T20?
Well, I think if you're having a qualifying tournament for a World Cup, then it needs to be a qualifying tournament, not a qualifying tournament for another qualifier. I think that's unfair. Within this qualifier, we've played against 2 teams that we played in the qualifying tournament. So, that doesn't really make logical sense. I think as well, if you're having a World Cup in a particular country, I think that qualifying tournament needs to be in the country. And there's huge alarm bells ringing about the 50-over World Cup coming up, and the qualifying tournament quite conveniently held in Bangladesh when the World Cup is in England. So, you know, that makes absolutely no sense at all, and that seriously needs to be readdressed before that tournament takes place. But if you're talking specifically about 2020, I think the qualifying tournament that we held in Scotland, Ireland was brilliant. I think it showed off associates, showed the skill that was on display. I think TV numbers were pretty good for that. Social media numbers were pretty good for that. So I think that was a very good event. And however, I think the qualifiers from that need to go straight into, if it needs to be a 16-man tournament or 16-team tournament, then so be it.
Cheers.